Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. So today's topic is going to be, can you imagine this? I'll get to that in a minute. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths. Listen to the nature. Birds chirping. Unfortunately, I got some people talking across the lake, but that's okay. Friendly people. Alright, so can you imagine this? So what I'm talking about here is everything really begins in our imagination first. So, business example, Jeff Bezos imagined himself being the biggest online seller of books. And then he converted that into the biggest seller of pretty much everything. He's now the biggest retailer on the globe. Started out of an idea, an imagination that, hey, maybe I can do this. He started that sometime in the 90s when the internet was first becoming a thing. And there's thousands of examples of people who just have this spark of imagination, becoming a sports star, becoming a famous musician, becoming a parent, becoming anything. It starts with a thought, an idea, the imagination. So what does that have to do with getting better from this chronic pain stuff? Well, we want it to start with the imagination of what we actually want. What are we trying to achieve? It's going to be a heck of a lot easier to teach your brain that you can be pain-free if you can see what that looks like. So I'm going to encourage you to spend a little bit of time every day just kind of visualizing what does that look like to be pain-free. This is what it looks like for me. It's coming out here, cruising around on the kayak, fishing, hanging out in the house, having a great time. No physical limitations at all. That coming from a guy who had 13 years of chronic back pain and sciatica. I was jacked up crooked, if you've seen my pictures at painfreeyou.com. And so, if you were to ask me in the middle of that journey if I could see myself pain-free, my answer would have been no. But I will tell you, if you can imagine this, imagine yourself living without your chronic pain or chronic symptoms. That's a great first step towards getting there, right? The brain cannot tell the difference between something real that's happening in the moment or something that is vividly imagined. So start to think about, what would my ideal day be like once, not if, once you're pain-free or symptom-free? What would life look like if, in fact, you weren't trying to fix yourself and heal all day, every day? It'd be pretty good. You can start thinking about what do you want to be when you grow up? And that can be both an exciting and scary proposition. And I'm going to wrap this into a question that I got like a few days back. Somebody asked me the question, Dan, what if you're afraid to get better? I had to question her. So what do you mean? She said, well, I have a good excuse to play small. I don't have to worry about a career. I can manipulate my family into doing things for me. And if I get better, I got to step out and play big, play large. So she says, how do I deal with the fear of getting well? And I realized that's probably a real thing. Now, I'm not suggesting many of you have this secondary gain thought in the back of your mind, like, I like being sick because that's how I get love and that's how I get cared for. That's how I know people, approve of me, not approve of me, but people care for me because they're helping me. And if I weren't that way, I don't know if I would get the same kind of attention. And so there might be a little bit of subconscious fear behind getting well. So what do you do with that? Well, first of all, for people who think that, they're not going to be able to handle stepping out into the real world once they're better. I will tell you just from personal experience, life without chronic symptoms is absolutely fantastic. And it's worth every bit of uncertainty as to what it looks like when I don't have the excuse of pain or symptoms to get people to help me out and care for me. So I do want you to spend a little bit of time imagining what life looks like. Imagine being able to get up and say, all right, not that you can do anything you want. It's not like, money's going to fall from the sky and we can go travel and do everything we want. But within reason, imagine no physical limitations. Feeling good in your own body. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I feel better now at 55 than I did at 35. At 35, I was walking around limping and having to lay on the floor for hours a day trying to just let my back decompress from sitting too long, standing too long, walking too far. And imagining a life without pain was challenging for me back then. But I guarantee it would have been helpful. Because if we can imagine, if we can see it, then the brain has a target. Remember the reticular activating system. The brain always is seeking for evidence to confirm that the things you believe are true are actually true. So if you believe that you can and will get better, the brain's going to look for evidence of that. It's going to say, wow, you know what? We had 5 minutes without any discomfort yesterday. It's evidence. Make a note, right? So I am going to encourage you to imagine this future life without symptoms. And if it's scary, because then you'll be saying, wow, what am I going to do with myself? Does that mean I have to go get a job or a career? Does that mean I'm going to have to take care of myself and not have people, helping me out? Maybe, but that's okay. Because I can tell you, the freedom from chronic pain and symptoms is worth anything and everything that a life of future responsibility holds. Yes, there are some responsibilities when you're a productive member of society. I get it. But I'll tell you what, in my experience, playing small isn't the way to go. You're going to look back at your life when you're old and gray, kind of like me, and kind of question, is that all I did my whole life? I had an uncle who had chronic pain his whole life. Died at 68 from cancer. No, 70. And he really didn't do much with his life. And I know towards the end he was kind of questioning, did I really accomplish much? Yes, he had a wife, kids, raised a family. He was a good man. But he didn't feel like he enjoyed life. He kind of suffered life. And probably had a lot of regrets. And I don't want you guys and gals to have regrets. Right? It's not just possible to get better. When you dive into this mind-body, TMS neural circuit type of pain or symptoms, it's not just possible to get better, but when you truly embrace it, commit to many of the things I'm talking about, it's probable that you're going to get better. And so start to imagine it, right? Can you imagine this? Yourself waking up and not having the first thought, how bad am I going to hurt when I get out of bed? Imagine that. Or for the people who don't hurt until later in the day, imagine looking at your clock and going, it's 12 o'clock, and not expecting the pain to come at any moment. Imagine yourself being able to decide whatever you want to do. You have the physical capability of doing it. Whether it be fatigue, headaches, migraines, backache, leg ache, arm pain, shoulder pain, foot pain. Imagine what it would be like if you did not have to struggle against that each and every day. Because again, that's not only possible, it's probable when you've done when you've gained the knowledge about this mind-body stuff, when you've done the assessments and connected the dots and said, yes, this is exactly what's going on with me. And then commit to the process to teach your brain that you don't need the symptoms. Calm down. It is so possible. It's even probable. So can you imagine this life free of pain? And for the people who are worried about what does life look like if I am pain-free, and what responsibilities and how do I have to step up and live a more productive life with more responsibilities, I get it. But I will say it's worth every little bit of effort it's going to take for you to kind of get back into a productive place in your life. Because when you do start to regain that sense of freedom and responsibility and productivity, you're going to feel so darn good about yourself when you lay down at the end of the night. You lay in bed and you start thinking to yourself, look at all I did today. It's so possible, and it's very probable that you can get well. So, can you imagine it? Please try. Please spend some time imagining yourself pain-free. Put a huge freaking smile on your face and know that it's pretty damn fantastic when you get there. And yes, the journey is bumpy and windy and curvy and has uphills, downhills, and a couple crashes along the way. But I'll tell you what, when you get there, you realize it was worth every little bit of effort to get there. So, love you guys and gals. Imagine yourself pain and symptom free. Smile. It's coming. We'll see you on the other side, folks. And I'll see you tomorrow on the journey. Take care.